Okay.
So like I mentioned, like device identity. So we don't have that in Event Hub. So we have IoT Hub for device identity.
Okay.
Even Event Hub doesn't provide you a bi-directional communication between your device and the cloud. So we have IoT Hub, which will provide you that service. So you can talk from like your cloud service to the device.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael Gibson, Marketing Manager here at 10th Magnitude, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of 10th Magnitude's Manhattan's Project. I am joined today by Mitesh Patekar, who is one of our cloud app development consultants, and he and I are going to be talking today about Azure Stream Analytics, correct?
Yeah, Azure Stream Analytics, then IoT Hub, and the overall process of how you do IoT in Azure.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you very much for joining me. We have both decided to eschew the traditional Manhattan, but thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for having me. Very glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about how Azure IoT Hub functions within the scope of Azure as a whole.
So let me instead of deep diving into IoT Hub, let me give you a small use case of IoT so we can just go on with it. So just take an example of a device, like an IoT device, which is a sprinkler. And the sprinkler is like continuously sprinkling water. And we want to measure the amount of volume of water which is like sprinkled by that sprinkler. So what the sprinkler needs to do is it wants to send the volume of data to the cloud. And like we need something in cloud which will enable like process those messages and everything in cloud. So IoT Hub enables you to connect your device to the cloud, to the backend Azure solution. So with Azure IoT Hub, you can have a bidirectional communication between your device and your backend solution. So now consider there are like millions of devices out there, and IoT Hub has the ability to connect millions of those devices to the cloud. Now it has also a security mechanism where you have each device has its own identity and a key associated with it. So each and every device will, they have a proper identity which will enable the proper backend administrator to know like this device is like a proper secure one, and we can have that device to access the data. So there are like IoT Hub is a message ingestion service. So millions of devices, they are throwing data inside the IoT Hub, and then we need some kind of a processor which will take this data and output to a meaningful output in the form of a dashboard or something. So this is the overall process of like how IoT Hub works.
It's interesting because that touches on so many other subjects we've discussed on the show. You know, for identity, Neil and I talking about Azure Active Directory. When you're talking about provisioning, it was one of the very first episodes we did with one of our technical consultants when we were talking about Azure Resource Manager. You're talking things that could be integrated with Chef and AARM as your configuration management tools. So it sort of like brings all these different components together. And then you were talking specifically about the use case that Brian Blanchard was talking about when he was doing his IoT episode about measuring water and reporting that back and sort of preemptively getting in front of that data for business development and cost management. So how does that grow from just being able to measure that data and respond based on setting metrics? Is this something that will continue to grow and develop and encompass more Azure utilities sort of in that IoT Hub?
Yeah, so now like as you mentioned, like there are plenty of Azure services available there. And it's not like you have to use only one Azure service and you have a solution. So you have to obviously build like solution which will use more than one Azure service. So Azure IoT Hub is one of them. We also have Azure Event Hub. So Event Hub was like previously came before IoT Hub. It is the same like a message ingestion service. But when IoT Hub came, it was like specifically designed for IoT-based applications.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, like device identity. So we don't have that in Event Hub. So we have IoT Hub for device identity.
Okay.
Even Event Hub doesn't provide you a bidirectional communication between your device and the cloud. So we have IoT Hub, which will provide you that service. So you can talk from like your cloud service to the device. And another service, like I'm talking about, like there is Azure Stream Analytics. So
which is the one that I'm most familiar with is Stream Analytics. We talked about that one.
So you just mentioned this at the top, like Stream Analytics. So what it does is it works on like real-time analytics of data. So now data is coming, like flowing continuously in the IoT Hub, and you need some kind of an event processor which will take that data out and process some meaningful data. So what I mean by meaningful is like you have to take an aggregated output of that data. So millions of messages are coming inside, and you just want a like average of that, not the whole. You'll just spoil your data. So you have you can take, I can say, an aggregated form, and you can output it to some dashboard, or you can just throw it to one storage. You can store it anywhere, and you can customize that data however you want. And Stream Analytics is one of the most important, like I can say, Azure service, because it acts as a bridge between your IoT Hub and your output, like dashboard or something. Stream Analytics, like I mentioned, is a bridge. So it has an input as an IoT Hub, which is like data coming in through, and it throws the output to the Power BI. That's how it works.
Okay. So how do you, can you tell us a little bit about how you, as a cloud application developer, how you use Azure IoT, Azure IoT Hub?
Okay, so as a cloud consultant, I can say that now we have a device like maybe a Raspberry Pi, and there's a Windows 10 IoT core installed in that Raspberry Pi, and we generally write, like there are like IoT SDKs available for C#, and then we write code which is like deployed on that Raspberry Pi, and then it sends messages, like whatever Raspberry Pi is like emitting the data, we package into a JSON object, and we send that object into an IoT Hub. So like there are like different devices, and they are like sending that JSON object to the IoT Hub, and that it's like running continuously. And when you get an object in IoT Hub, like JSON object, you have to bring Stream Analytics, because you wanna query that data to to a particular output. So now data is coming, and you have to like process that data. So you query, okay, select average of volume, and select like time or location from this data, and output it to a Power BI data set. That's how like we as an application developer we connect these things. So we have C#, then we have C# development, which will throw these messages into these IoT Hub services, and then we have to query this data from using like Stream Analytics. So using Stream Analytics, you can generally query anything you want from like aggregated form data. That's how like this overall flow works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you are seeing coming down the line for Azure IoT Hub? Any changes or modifications or updates to that service as the IoT space continues to grow at such a rapid pace? Is there anything that you see on the roadmap of changing that service and how it works?
So there's when we started using IoT Hub, there was a new service coming into Azure. So it's an Azure IoT suite. So
that's part of the Cortana business.
Yeah, that's part of a
suite?
Cortana, and I mean, not a part of, but I mean, I can say that they have something integrated with Cortana as well.
Okay.
Even Power BI has an integration with Cortana. When you say, okay, I need to see the average volume of water, which is like you talk to dashboard, and you say, I want show me the average dashboard, average volume of this device, or this number of location from these locations. It will pop you that result. That's pretty cool. So IoT Suite is a service which will like really help you build a perfect IoT solution using this number of services. So when you create an IoT Suite, it will create an IoT Hub automatically for you. So and this not only will that be created, but it will also, they have like predictive maintenance dashboard, that their own dashboard, so we can monitor these devices, like plenty of IoT devices, and then we have an idea, okay, now this device, this has an ID, so we have that overall management kind of stuff. So we know that which device is sending how much data, which device is violating the rules. We can set the thresholds as well. So we know that, okay, now this device is sending, like emitting water wasting more than what threshold we set. So we can disable that device. That's how. So we come to know that, okay, which part of location has the maximum consumption of water. That also we can come to know with using predictive analysis. So using IoT Suite, you just build a solution out of, like, you have, you can customize that dashboard as well. I mean, they are like still in preview mode and developing some, getting more and more things getting introduced. So I mean, it's a new thing, really cool thing which is coming in IoT.
All right, so thank you very much for joining me for this episode. The IoT space is something that I'm personally really interested in, which I said to Brian when he was on the show. Yeah. So I really appreciate you taking the time to fill us in with some more info. I really appreciate
inviting me to come into your show.
Yeah, so thanks very much. As always, to stay on top of our latest content, you can hit the subscribe button below, and that will make sure that you see all our latest videos when we put the next one up. Hopefully we'll have Mitesh back on the show at some point in the future as they continue to roll out updates to the Azure IoT Hub and Stream Analytics services. Sure. In the meantime, again, thanks so much. I appreciate you so much. All right.
Thank you so much. See you.
Till next time, everyone.